You're Shifting Gears with Alan Bailey.
I really enjoy the smell of burnt rubber and race fuel in the morning. Sue me.
Whether it's NASCAR, IndyCar, NHRA drag racing, or AMA Supercross, we've got it.
I'm going to be unapologetic. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm going to tell it like it is, whether you like it or not. Get over it.
Grab a gear and let's go.
Well, is it time to go already? Really?
You're Shifting Gears on ARN. Here's Alan Bailey.
Welcome on in. I'm Alan Bailey. You're Shifting Gears right here on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. It is Wednesday, August 6, 2014. Show number 127 coming at you here on ARN on this wonderful Wednesday. Lots of stuff on tap today. Helio Castroneves, 4 points out of the points lead right now in the Verizon IndyCar Series with 3 races to go. He'll be checking on in with us. The Speedway president out at the Auto Club Speedway here in Southern California, Gillian Zucker, will also be checking in with us. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won over the weekend, in case you weren't sure what that minor earthquake was with Junior Nation. It was that. It was Junior winning. And yeah, we'll have some fan reaction and some interesting highlights as well. But in order to kick off the program, there's only one thing that we can do, and that is get you up to speed with today's hot topics. Let's start in the NASCAR world because, well, when Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins, especially when he holds off the closer, Kevin Harvick at Pocono, in order to sweep Pocono for his 3rd win of the 2014 schedule, it tends to be our leadoff story, and he did just that, picking up his 3rd win of the year, holding off Harvick, winning at Pocono, sweeping at Pocono, first time he swept at a racetrack in almost 10 years, the first time he has more than 3 wins in a season in over 10 years, believe it or not. Way to go, Dale Earnhardt Jr. And also in the Cup Series, we heard earlier this week and we reported it on ARN, Ryan Blaney will be driving a partial schedule in the Cup Series next season in that number 21 famed Wood Brothers Ford in 2015. The reason? Simple. Trevor Bayne, who won with the team in 2010 at Daytona, will be moving on, moving into full-time Cup ride for Jack Roush starting in 2015. Ryan Blaney has been driving for Brad Keselowski in the Truck Series for the past 2 seasons. He's currently leading the Truck Series standings, and oh, by the way, he does have a couple of truck wins and a nationwide win 1 season ago. And yes, the rumor is that Blaney will be racing for the Wood Brothers, but still under contract at Penske. Penske will have a technical alliance with the Wood Brothers. And Milka Duno, that name might sound familiar. She raced in IndyCar for a number of seasons. She's currently racing in the ARCA Series. She's signed a contract to go NASCAR racing, believe it or not, in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, becoming the first female Hispanic driver in the United States to race in NASCAR. And Nelson Piquet Jr. will be making his Cup debut this weekend at Watkins Glen. And we're hearing from the NASCAR garage area that NASCAR and Goodyear could actually require pressure sensors in those tires in order to sense when those tires are going down from in the pits. But these are unconfirmed reports. We'll give you more information as it becomes available to us. And in corporate America news, which basically is NASCAR news now, Sprint has called off their merger with T-Mobile. Sprint purchased the mobile provider T-Mobile earlier this year, and the rumor was that the two would merge. But Sprint confirmed Wednesday that Miraceto Clarice will take over as president and CEO of the 3rd largest wireless provider in the U.S. Now, he has been the founder and CEO of Brightcorp, a wireless distributor based in Maine, and a subsidiary of Sprint, a parent company of SoftBank. Now, he will be the CEO starting on August 11th, and yes, the rumors were spouts after both companies had been working on a potential merger valued as high as $50 billion. Last week, French Telecom confirmed that they made a bid to scoop up T-Mobile for $15 million. No word on if that has gone through, but for now, we know that the Sprint T-Mobile merger is dead in the water. This reportedly will not affect the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series sponsor, but who knows? Now, we know that Scott Dixon won at Mid-Ohio over the weekend, and it padded onto his impressive series stats already. But what we found out this week was that, yes, a number of drivers are already looking ahead, including Helio Castroneves, which is already thinking, what am I going to do next weekend with 3 races remaining and only 4 points out? I caught up with him earlier on the soccer field, believe it or not, here in Southern California with the LA Galaxy. He had this to say about the final 3 races.
Milwaukee is a strong place. However, we didn't have much luck. But last year, we finally break through 2nd place. And Sonoma, we already won there. So we know what we can do. And Fontana as well. So from now on, I feel that we have a strong scenario here that we can get back on the lead, or both myself and Will extend from the rest of the guys.
Will Power, his teammate, currently leads the point standings in the Verizon IndyCar Series. Helio Castroneves 4 points back. We'll have my interview with Helio Castroneves later on in the program. And yes, looking into the NHRA, no surprise, that guy, Force, yeah, he might sound familiar to you, dominated over this last weekend, picked up another Wally, John Force earning his 3rd Wally of the season in the Funny Car Series at the O'Reilly Auto Parts NHRA Northwest Nationals, presented by Superstart Batteries at Pacific Raceway. Now, Doug Coletta won in Top Fuel, with Jason Line winning in Pro Stock in their respective categories. Force defeated former teammate Gary Desham in the final round for his 141st career win. Forrest registered a time of 4.173 seconds at over 302 miles per hour in his Castrol GTX high mileage Ford Mustang to defeat Dowsem's trailing Chevy Impala, which lost traction early and finished at a 5.808 at 120 miles per hour. More on Force's win and what's coming up next weekend later on in the programming. And are you looking for a brand new website? Well, it's very simple. You don't need to build it yourself. You do not need to hire a fancy schmancy web designing company that you're just a number to. You need a personal touch. You need somebody who knows what they're doing. You need Apollo Aesthetics. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com in order to request a quote, not only to build your website, but help you set up your email account, create a custom logo for you, help you with your branding, also help set up social media accounts like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and a whole lot more. The reason being, you need to contact and be in contact with your audience and with your customers. You need to be where they are, and you not only need Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts, but also you need to know what to put on there. Apollo Aesthetics will help set up those accounts and not only show you how to post on there, but they'll show you how to create great content for your social media accounts. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com to request a quote to build your website and to set up these services. Get in contact with my man Ruben at Apollo Aesthetics. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com right now. I'm Alan Bailey from the ARN News Desk. We'll be back in just a moment. Helio Castroneves coming up, plus the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California president Gillian Zucker also going to be stopping by a little later on. You're shifting gears right here on ARN.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
I'm not sure if you know, but a lot of people are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if I'm speaking a foreign language to you right now, don't worry. A lot of people have trouble with it, but you should not be one of them. If you're looking to get your business online, and if you're looking to build a stronger web presence online in order to build more customers and to sell more product, log on to apolloaesthetics.com. Not only will they help build a brand new custom website for you, but they'll help set you up with Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts in order to build your customer base and get your product out there for people to see. Everyone's online and everyone has a smartphone. Does that free custom website that you can build really work on an iPod or an iPad? Well, Apollo Aesthetics build websites that not only are capable of working, but work with all kinds of smartphones and mobile devices. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com not only to see all the services that they offer, but to request a quote to get your business online today. It's apolloaesthetics.com.
What is one NASCAR Unites wristband capable of doing? It can inspire a child to go farther in school. It can construct a brand new playground for kids who've never had one. It can introduce a child with a serious illness to his or her favorite NASCAR driver.
I'm Tony Stewart, and I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites to pledge your support.
Hello fans, this is Bud Selig, Commissioner of Major League Baseball. I know firsthand about the dangers of skin cancer and the need to protect yourself because I am a skin cancer survivor. MLB, its clubs, players, and the American Academy of Dermatology want all of you to play Sun Smart. Protect yourself with sunscreen, sunglasses, and protective clothing, and visit your doctor regularly. For more information, visit MLB.com or playsunsmart.org.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Stash Feed. Get the feed. Log on to stashfeed.com, your daily manly feed. Your Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
At the Alan Bailey on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also use the hashtag ARNRace in order to get in on this conversation and just send me little nuggets like this one. Hey Alan, were you playing soccer with Helio? How many times did you fall down? Hashtag fat chat. Okay. Want to set the record straight. I'm very out of shape. Very out of shape. I've put on some weight in the last few years. I had a gym membership that ran out, okay, in my defense. I had a gym membership that ran out. I got really busy, and I just didn't keep healthy. I made very unhealthy choices, let me put it that way. So yeah, I'm overweight. I put on, I don't know, maybe 50 pounds in the last 2 years. Yeah, admittingly, I'm bad, okay? But Helio is insanely in shape. Insanely. You look at the LA Galaxy, and if you're just joining us, I was actually out in LA earlier today. I was actually down at the LA Galaxy's training facility down there, and it was very cool moment because I went down there to the, I'm trying to remember the name of the place, but I can't remember the name of the place for the life of me, the facility. I went down to the LA Galaxy training and practice field, the StubHub Center, that's where I was. And we were out there, the LA Galaxy was out there. They were practicing and they were wrapping up one of their practice sessions for an event that they have coming up on Friday. And Helio was down there. He went down there to practice with them and kind of promote the race that's coming up here in Southern California at the end of the month. And I got a chance to catch up with him, and we'll have that conversation in a little while here. But I got a chance to catch up with him. And what was very cool is you look at him, and the photos are on my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook's at the Alan Bailey. I encourage you to go check those out. Also on the station's accounts at ARN Race on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You look at Helio in the photos that are up there, he looks like a soccer player. They're all kind of skinny dudes. They're all kind of, some are tall, some are, average height, I would say. But they're all skinny dudes because they're running constantly. So they don't have a whole lot of fat to them. IndyCar drivers don't have a whole lot of fat to them. You know why? Because they're sweating. Because they're very athletic. And you have to be in order to basically drive one of these cars. And what's interesting is that people kind of, I don't want to say they underestimate it, but they really don't consider, wow, Helio Castroneves, wow, Juan Pablo Montoya, wow, Ryan Hunter-Reay, wow, these guys are really in shape. Tony Kanaan, wow, these guys are in shape. They just kind of take it for granted, or they don't even think about it. But these guys truly are in shape. You look at Helio, honestly, I give the guy props because he looked like a soccer player. They had him in an LA Galaxy uniform with Helio on the back and the number 3. Very cool. And he had the cleats on, the soccer cleats, so he looked just like one of the guys. The only difference was is he was wearing an Auto Club hat, and everybody else didn't actually have hats on, but everybody else was just kind of, you know, trifling around. They had one of his cars out there, so they were all taking turns getting into the car. And what was very funny is every single one of them fit inside the race car. Typically, you get guys like me. I'm a bit fatter. I'm a bit wider in the shoulders. I'm a bit clunkier to get in and out of these things, even though I do race a little bit. I'm not a racer. I'm not claiming I'm a racer, but I do have an off-road race team, and we do wear the Hans, the fire suits, all the equipment, you name it. So it's not unfamiliar to me to get in and out of a race car, but when it comes to an Indy car, it's very cramped. Obviously, it's very cramped. It's very interesting to get in and out of one. And truthfully, I actually did get to ride a 2-seater today. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But no, to see these guys just get in and out, it kind of made me realize, wow, soccer players who are some of the greatest athletes in the world, they have to have some of the best stamina of all athletes. Helio compares right up there to him. Now, when it came to soccer, he wasn't doing half bad, actually. He was, you know, kicking them in the goal. They had a little goalpost. They had the goalpost set up, and they had a special net that actually covered the entire net except for the 4 corners, the top corners and the bottom corners. And the goal was for the players to actually kick the ball into one of those very small areas, one of those very small openings to make it actually into the net. And Helio was trying, and he missed a couple, but he got a couple in too. He missed a bunch, actually, but I'm not going to say how many he missed, 6. But he did miss a good amount, and it was very cool to see him out there today and see just the reaction on the LA Galaxy on the players' faces when Helio's there with the race car. I got a chance to talk with a bunch of them, actually, off mic. They didn't feel comfortable because their English wasn't so good. So I respect that. And for the record, their English was really good. They're just a little self-conscious, which I understand. If English is your second language, any second language for that matter, I wouldn't go on the radio and I wouldn't do an interview unless I was 125,000% fluent in it, because I wouldn't want to butcher a language and offend somebody or do anything of that nature. So these guys just didn't want to speak because they didn't feel comfortable, which is fine. I can honestly respect that and understand that. I understand that completely. It's your comfort. I'm not going to pry in there. But no, in all honesty, they had really pretty immaculate English. Some of them have only been here a few months in the United States and only speaking English really for less than a year, and speaking it fluently here in California for the better part of a couple of months. It was pretty darn impressive, I'll tell you that. But what was really cool is actually getting a chance to talk to some of these guys. Are you guys race fans? And they were going, well, we are, but you know, we don't have a whole lot of time because we're working, so we don't get to catch up so much. But we like him. There's actually a couple of Brazilians who were on the team with Helio. Or I should say on the LA Galaxy that are Brazilians, like Helio is Brazilian as well. So he got a chance to catch up with them, and they were talking in their native language, which is very cool to see him, just the comfort level of these guys. They started talking in their native language, and they relaxed, and it was very cool to see them kind of unwind to get them in and out of the race car. Very cool. I don't know why, but I'm a junkie for exposing this world to newcomers. I absolutely love talking about racing and going fast and just whether it's IndyCar, NASCAR, NHRA, AMA, Supercross, Motocross, whatever. I absolutely love introducing new people to it and explaining to them the ins and outs, because they don't know. It's not that they're ignorant. It's not that they don't take the time to know. They don't know. They really don't. And there are things on this earth that I don't know, that I will never be an expert at. Golf, for example. I'm not a golf expert. I understand it's a very popular sport. I've played it a few times. I've had fun at it. I'm horrifically bad at it, but I've had fun at it. It's a fun sport. I don't get into watching it because I don't know anybody. I don't know the terminology. I know a handful of the players, but I don't know a majority of them, so it's hard for me to get into golf, and I'm trying right now. Trust me, I am. I'm trying to get into golf, but honestly, I'm not a big golf aficionado. Very much a beginner, but I absolutely love it when somebody who is a golf expert will sit down with me and I can ask them questions and they will answer me. And I've had two different type of people when it comes to golf actually come up to me and talk to me about golf. I've had the person that's very knowledgeable, that's very understanding of the fact that I don't know the sport, and they answer the basic questions. And they work with me and they're understanding. I've had that person who's very cool, very knowledgeable, very friendly. And I've also had another type of person, and I've only encountered one person who has done this to me, and I'm not going to name that person's name, but this person came up to me and they were kind of in shock, like, "Oh, you don't know who so-and-so is? And you're a golf fan?" I'm not a golf fan. I'm intrigued by the sport. I'm not a golf fan. I just started following in less than a year ago. I don't know anything hardly. "Well, you should know who so-and-so is. So-and-so is a very popular player, la la." Guy, I don't know who that is. It's not like I'm not asking who Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy or somebody is. No, I'm asking who this person is. That's not... what are you talking... Can you help me out here? No, well, it's so-and-so. They've won this, they've won that. Come on, you need to know this. How dare you call yourself a golfer? It's like, okay, guy, thanks a lot. So I think it's cool whenever you get a chance to introduce somebody to our sport, to racing, whether it's IndyCar, NASCAR, NHRA, you name it. Whether they're like me with golf, they're intrigued by it and they want to know more, or even if they just are curious about it and they want to go for a ride. Which, by the way, that's the easiest way to get somebody to instantaneously like racing. Put them behind the wheel of a race car. Get a stock car, get the IndyCar experience going, whatever. And they will instantaneously become a fan. And it's the coolest thing ever, in my opinion. And by the way, yes, I did get to go into that IndyCar two-seater today. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool indeed. And to be fair, they were just tooling it around the stadium there. They weren't doing a whole lot with it. It's not like, we were on the racetrack doing 200. It's not like we had a road course car going on here. No, they brought it out and we basically tooled it around a couple of the access roads and things. We weren't going fast. I want to say maybe at one point we were doing 20, 25, but it was very cool just to be in that car, to feel the rumble, to hear the engine behind you, just to sit in the thing. I banged my knee a little bit, for the record. It did hurt. I'm okay, though. I'll survive. But it was very cool to see, to get into that car, and to see the players' faces and their reaction getting out of the car going, "Wow, you do that for 500 miles? Wow." Yeah, it's physical. It's not like those guys are sitting in there and they're just in there for tea time, It's an impressive thing, to say the least. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. We'll have the interview with Helio Castroneves next segment. And yeah, we're going to be talking with the track president out at the Auto Club Speedway, Gillian Zucker. I got a chance to catch up with her earlier, as well as Helio, and we'll have both those interviews in our next segment. But right now, I do want to talk some NASCAR, because there is some stuff going on in NASCAR that I think that we should talk about. The first being this guy. I don't know how I feel about this, but I really don't. But Nelson Piquet Jr. going to be making his NASCAR Sprint Cup Series debut. He's a Brazilian as well. He's raced in the Nationwide Series. He's going to be racing the Randy Humphrey Racing number 77 Ford this weekend. He does need to qualify on time. He raced full seasons he raced the Truck Series in 2011, 2012. He raced the Nationwide Series last season. This season, he's been competing in rallycross events. He actually got the bronze medal in the X Games back in June. Sunday's race is going to basically be the return of the Randy Humphrey-owned Sprint Cup Series car as well. Going to be really the first Brazilian to actually try to win two of in NASCAR's top three series. Nelson Piquet won in Nationwide, and he's going to try to win in the Cup Series. He's the first Brazilian to win in NASCAR's top 3 series. He won last year in Nationwide at a road course, and this year he's going to try to do it again at Watkins Glen. I think we need to way check ourselves on this one. Way check ourselves. He doesn't I'm not saying he's not going to do it. I'm not saying he's incapable of doing it. I'm saying you're putting him in a car that hasn't been on the racetrack since Daytona of February, not of the one that just passed a month ago, but Daytona in February, and that particular car is extraordinarily underfunded. Extraordinarily. The car has been prepared by Randy Humphrey. They haven't really had the car on track since the Daytona 500. And they do have a sponsor. Works Yard Tools is going to be on the car. They have it painted really well, good looking car. But really, they don't. I don't want to say they don't have a chance, but they don't have a chance because let's face it, you can't sit it out. You can't just put a car in one race and expect to go out there and win. Nelson Piquet has never raced a Cup car, period, and he hasn't raced in almost a year in NASCAR. This team hasn't raced in over half a year in NASCAR, 20 races ago. It's quite a while. Do you really think that these two combinations are a winning combination? No. No. So really we need to just relax and just take a step back and think to yourself, yeah, maybe this isn't actually going to happen for him. No offense to him, no offense to Randy Humphrey, but that car hasn't seen the racetrack in quite a while. That driver hasn't seen a NASCAR race in quite a while. I'm putting 2 and 2 together. Also, testing news, Richard Childress Racing and Germain Racing, both actually out on track at the Atlanta Motor Speedway yesterday and today as well. As far as what we heard, everything is looking good for those race teams, but we'll see what's going on as far as our testing calendar is concerned a little bit later on. And we do have, this is interesting news, I'll mention it here because I have a little time. Nicole Briscoe, who works for ESPN. She worked on the ESPN NASCAR Countdown shows. She actually just signed a new contract with ESPN, and she'll become a Sports Center anchor as well as doing additional assignments after her role as the ESPN NASCAR Countdown concludes. She joined ESPN back in 2008 as part of NASCAR's coverage on ESPN, and their contract is up at the end of the season. Actually, in November, actually, is when their final race will be. So that staff kind of looking for other opportunities. It's cool to know that she's going to be in the Sports Center studio. She's very, very good at what she does, and I truly wish her the best in Sports Center. She's going to do great there. I hope to see her on many Sports Centers and not just the weekend ones, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. She did say in a statement, I'm very happy with the opportunities that have been presented to me. ESPN is where I want to be. I'm excited about starting the next chapter of my career as well as a new adventure for my family. But first, we still have 15 weeks of NASCAR to go and champions to crown. That's the correct approach that she has right there. That's the correct approach. She's been hosting that NASCAR Countdown show since 2011, and truly, she's the reason I watch those telecasts. She truly is good. I'm not a big fan of ESPN's technical coverage and the way that they treat the sport on SportsCenter, but I do like the people who are on air. I love Dale Jarrett. I'm a huge Dale Jarrett fan. I'm a huge Brad Daugherty fan. Those guys are amazing human beings. They're very knowledgeable of this sport. They're very passionate about this sport. And they get flack, especially Daugherty, because, frankly, of the color of his skin, which is unfair by a bunch of racists and bigots. But honestly, he's somebody who's been following NASCAR since he was 8 years old. He's a NASCAR team owner. He is on the ESPN broadcast. He's a college player, basketball player, but you know what? He's also a race fan and a racer. And I truly, I admire what he's done in his career, A, and B, I credit him for doing an incredible job that he's been doing. So it's going to suck to see ESPN at least from the non-air talent standpoint, for them to stop doing these broadcasts. But I'm not going to miss their nationwide coverage. That was horrible, horrible coverage. But we'll see what happens here in 2015 with their coverage, or with the coverage on NBC rather. So we'll see what happens. On that note, we'll go ahead and we'll step aside here. Kind of a slow weekend, to be perfectly honest. We look at the racing calendar. It's up on arnrace.com if you want to take a look at it. It shows all racing across this country, what's going on as far as our big races are concerned, not so much our local ones. And really, we have the Zippo 200 Nationwide Series race on Saturday. Sunday, the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen. That's it. No NHRA this weekend. No IndyCar. It's very interestingly slow weekend. Very, very interesting. I don't necessarily like it. I don't know. I want more racing than this. I'm a racing junkie, and this isn't cool, man. I want more racing in my life. We'll get you through it. Trust me. We can do this. On that note, we'll go ahead and we'll step aside here. When we come back on the other end of this break, Helio Castroneves, driver of that AAA car in the Verizon IndyCar Series for Roger Penske, he's going to be checking on in with us, as well as the track president out at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. Gillian Zucker going to be checking in with us as well to get us ready. 3 races remaining in the IndyCar Series, 4 points separating teammates right now for that top spot. Who's going to get it? Well, we're just going to have to find out. Helio Castroneves coming up next. Don't go anywhere. You're shifting gears right here on ARN.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
In today's day and age where every phone has a camera in it, everybody thinks they're a photographer. Whether they're putting stuff online on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, they think they know what they're doing. But when it comes to hiring a professional photographer, you need someone with years of experience and the professional equipment that is necessary in order to capture a professional shot. Not a smartphone with some filter on Instagram. You need a professional with years of experience and photoshopping skills. There's only one place to go, and that's Self-Destruct Photography. Log on to facebook.com/self-destruct photography in order to check out their portfolio of work, plus get in contact with them to set up a date for your photo shoot. Whether you're looking to get some 8x10s done if you're an actor or professional, or if you're looking to get some family photos done to capture a moment forever, or if you need to get some graduation photos done that didn't turn out so great the first time around, or even if you're getting married, call my man Scott because he'll set you up. That's Self-Destruct Photography. Don't miss your shot with Scott.
What is one NASCAR Unites wristband capable of doing? It can inspire a child to go farther in school. It can construct a brand new playground for kids who've never had one. It can introduce a child with a serious illness to his or her favorite NASCAR driver.
I'm Tony Stewart. I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites to pledge your support.
I want to change some things.
I want the moms where I live to have childcare they can trust.
I want to make sure my little brother and his friends have a safe place to play.
I want to help more kids graduate from high school.
Help more hardworking families learn how to budget and save.
I want more of my neighbors to have access to health care.
Want to make a difference? There are so many ways you can. Help create opportunities for everyone in your community.
I want to change what I see around here.
United Way is creating real, lasting change where you live by focusing on the building blocks of a better life: education, income, and health.
I mean, I just want to see more smiles on my sidewalks.
Reach out a hand to one and influence the condition of all. Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. For more, visit United Way at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
The odds of having a boy who grows up loving baseball,
1 in 6.
Which earns him a college scholarship,
1 in 2,500.
That gets him a contract in the minors,
1 in 3,700.
Which leads to starting shortstop in the majors,
1 in 290,000.
The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism,
1 in 150. You know the odds. Now learn the signs. Go to autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Apollo Aesthetics. Log on to Apollo Aesthetics to start building your new website today. You're Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
3 races to go, and this guy is only 4 points out right now. He lost the points lead over this last weekend to his teammate after a very unfortunate incident with the car, and I actually got a chance to catch up with him. Helio Castroneves is somebody who I caught up with earlier today. He was out practicing, believe it or not, with the LA Galaxy. Very, athletic. He's going to be heading up to Sonoma for a tire test that's going to be taking place tomorrow, but he was in Southern California today talking with the LA Galaxy, playing with them, practicing with them, and also talking with the media about his chances. I got a chance to catch up with Helio Castroneves a few hours ago. We're out here with Helio Castroneves and Southern California, the sun, and some soccer. You have fun out there today?
Oh my goodness, that was a blast. This is the type of things I love to do when we go out, because you not only have an opportunity to reach other people, but you also to learn from other organizations. And here in LA Galaxy, it seems to be an amazing organization, and the athletes has the same mentality of us, pay attention details, and it was really awesome.
Well, looking at you out there, you look like you fit right in with the guys. I mean, you had them in your car earlier. They seem to fit perfectly. You came out, you look like you belonged. So we know you're active. What else do you do besides soccer? Because we see the photos of you constantly on your Instagram and Twitter and things of you being active.
Well, I love sports outside. I love any kind of sports, and this type of things. It's great to have fun. I wouldn't play. So yeah, I know it's a very rough sport, and especially in my case. But I try to see the stuff that you can benefit you from better physical, because in the end of the day, all the sports cross in some way, some type of area that you got to work on it. And for me, it's just great to be with some fellow Brazilians, and it was really nice to see them.
Did you know that you had fellow Brazilians on the Galaxy?
I definitely did. Never met them, so today was a really cool experience to see them here, and hopefully they're now going to see my world out there in the racetrack.
Well, speaking of your world, 3 races, what would you give for 4 points right now?
Not much. I would give more than that. I would give more of at least 75 points when you go to the end of the year. So you just got to keep going. 4 points, yes, it's a lead, but we just got to keep our head in the game, because detail makes a big difference in the series, and that's what we're going to take to win the championship.
Well, looking at these 3 races, you got Milwaukee, you have Sonoma, you're going to go to the test here in a little while for tomorrow, and then you come back here at the end of the month. What's your biggest challenge over the course of the next 3 weeks?
Find at least obviously a competitive car. In this place is always important to start in the front, and especially Sonoma, so as a place that if there is not many yellows, at least you put yourself up there. And the ovals, just make sure that we'd be doing what we're doing last year. We finished second. Hopefully we'll be able to do that again, and if not, win a race. We've got to win one of those.
No, absolutely. And you look at it, it's going to come down to the race out here in Fontana. That's what everybody's thinking. But what are you guys doing at Team Penske? What are you guys sharing information? Are you guys keeping to the sides? We know it's a team effort to try to get him the championship, but are you guys communicating with each other? Are you guys kind of dividing and seeing, exactly who's going to win this thing?
Yeah, even that it's 3 of us battling for the championship, we still think in the big picture, which is Team Penske, and we're going to do everything we can to execute that.
So you guys are sharing information and you're talking to each other just as business as usual. The championship is it's there obviously in the shop, but you guys are kind of not even thinking about that when it comes day to day.
Correct. We are sharing everything. We're trying to make not only 1 but 3 cars fast. That means give us a better opportunity to win this.
You look at the Auto Club Speedway, such a fantastic speedway. The track has been aging over the years. In the NASCAR world, they love it. It's producing great racing, and it's producing good racing in IndyCar as well. Do you think it's time for a repave or leave the track alone?
I don't know. I mean, obviously for us, repaving give you more opportunities of. It's just like new tires, but I don't know. Right now at this point, If there is a chance, it would be great. If there is no opportunities to do that, I don't think it would matter to us. For us, the way that we do in 500 miles, it create an amazing amount of opportunity to passing and choosing lines and things like that. So I don't have much of an opinion on that.
We look at the IndyCar schedule. It's ending a little earlier. It's ending at the end of August this year, Labor Day weekend. But you look at, you know, opportunities for next year. There's a lot of discussion about going outside the U.S. Obviously, Brazilian, you kind of want to go home and race there. But you look at the other venues. Are you open to racing outside the country?
I believe I heard something related to in Brazil next year we're going to have a race back. Maybe another one, so it would be great for us to show what Verizon IndyCar Series is, that they can see that it's not only fast cars but very competitive too.
Thank you so much for your time. Good luck in the tire test. Good luck in 2014.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he was, I mean, you could tell he was right there at the end of the day. He was kind of like going through the motions with that interview right there, but nevertheless, thank you to Helio Castroneves right there for checking in with us earlier today out at the practice field out there for the LA Galaxy. He actually did pretty good. There's a video up on my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter right now at the Alan Bailey. You can check out the video of him kicking right there and trying to kick the goal, trying to kick a few goals right there. Got a couple in there, not too bad, Helio. But also out at the racetrack, the Auto Club Speedway people were out there, including track president Gillian Zucker, talking about the upcoming season finale and just changes to the racetrack and things. Very interesting conversation. I asked her beforehand, before we turned on the mics, hey, and this is the type of person she is, I asked her, hey, anything you want to stay away from in this interview? And she went, absolutely not. I'm all game. Ask me anything. And that's pretty much exactly what I did. Out here with Gillian Zucker in Southern California, president of the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. You got to be excited. IndyCar's coming to town, and oh, by the way, it's the season finale.
Yeah, exactly right. And anytime you've got a guy that's vying for the championship in the market like Helio is, it's fun to be around him, hear what he's doing, what the plans are. But it seems like it's all going to come down to the MAV TV 500 at Auto Club Speedway on August 30th.
Ever since MAV TV got involved with you guys, it seems like that race has gotten bigger, attendance has gone up, and just there's more excitement and more buzz in that race. I mean, is it as successful for you guys behind the scenes as it is for us reporting it from in front of the cameras?
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to give credit to great partners like MAV TV and Auto Club and many others, but I think that you also have to give credit to Southern California race fans. I mean, they are impassioned about open wheel racing. They love IndyCar, and I don't think there's any better place in the entire country to see IndyCar than at Auto Club Speedway. The races are always so competitive. The facility is so fast. It's easy to see everything, and so when you get there, you just feel this sense of energy and excitement. And when, you know, the outcome comes down to the last lap to determine a championship for the entire season, there's nothing better than that, being a fan in that grandstand.
It's not, and I remember a couple years ago when Ryan Hunter-Reay won the championship, the buzz was just incredible. Being on pit road during those closing laps was insane, and you look at the racetrack itself, it's a phenomenal racetrack. It truly is. The facilities, the on-track surface, it's gotten flack for being aged and this and that, but honestly, on behalf of all race fans, not just in Southern California, but the world, do not touch that track.
We're not. We're just really actually trying to keep it maintained as best as possible so that we can keep the racing as competitive as it's been for both NASCAR and IndyCar. And, you know, you've got to give a nod to Roger Penske, who designed and built that racetrack and who really understands what it means to build a competitive track for multiple forms of racing. He's done an incredible job, and certainly we're seeing the benefits of that so many years into the future.
Absolutely, and you look at it, there's a lot of talk in IndyCar and in NASCAR about schedule changes for both of the series. Anything that you can talk about right now? I know everything's hush-hush until those series make it official, but have you been in discussions with them yet?
Well, certainly, you know, we're always in discussions about, you know, what we're looking for in terms of preferences for the season. We love having the season finale. Of course, for us, you know, with the way that IndyCar's tightened up the schedule and the fact that that now lands on Labor Day weekend, it's not the ideal time of year in Southern California. So I don't know if there'll be opportunities or not, but if they are, there's something certainly that we'll look at, and any decision we'll make with the best interests of the fans in mind and what fans are really looking for.
Absolutely. thank you so much for your time today, and thank you so much for putting on great racing out there and taking care of not only the fans but the media and the racing and the competitors as well out there.
Thank you so much. I hope we'll see everybody out there August 30th. They can still get tickets at 1-800-944-RACE or logging on to autoclubspeedway.com.
And you know she had to put the plug in right there at the end. She's still selling tickets. In all seriousness, you look at racing all over this country, it's harder and it's getting harder and harder to sell tickets because people are trying to save money, because it's a luxury, let's face it, to go to a sporting event, and racing is a little bit higher of a ticket. But in all honesty, they have tickets for as low as $20. Really good deal as far as a race is concerned, let alone the World Championship race. They still have a few of those tickets available from my understanding. And not only that, but I think when it comes to different areas and different demographics, I honestly, truly think that Gillian Zucker and everybody at the Auto Club Speedway, they have the hardest ticket to sell, not only in IndyCar and in NASCAR, but in all of racing. I think in the world they have the hardest ticket to sell, because racing, let's face it, isn't 100% popular here in Southern California. It's big, don't get me wrong, that place sold out in recent years, but it's still very hard to sell a ticket to a race in Southern California nevertheless, because there's so many other things going on here in Southern California, taking away from the racing, taking away from everything else. It's very hard. So we'll see what happens, truly, with that race. It's been fabulous. MAV TV's in a contract year, I know that, so we'll see what happens ultimately, but I do think that they're going to MAV TV is probably going to discuss renewing, because truly that race sponsorship put them on the map. It's the championship finale. It's the World Series. It's the world finale, I should say, of the IndyCar season. So it's a big thing, and the fact that it's going to come down to that final race with double points is just—it's absolutely incredible. So it's all on the line. It's going to come down to the last few laps. It truly is. So we'll just have to see what happens on August 30th out at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. It's the MAV TV America Real 400 out at the Auto Club Speedway. For your tickets, you can log on to autoclubspeedway.com. On that note, we're going to go ahead and step aside for the final time. When we get back, we're going to wrap everything up, talk about what's coming up this weekend with some road course racing, and just a few storylines to keep in mind going into this weekend. Don't go anywhere. You're shifting gears right here on ARN.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
Okay, so let's say that you're trying to build a website for free on one of these website builders. You go ahead and spend hours uploading your personal information and all of the photos that you've taken of your products, only to find out that you can't bring a .com onto that website without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove those ads without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove all of those pesky "this website was built for free" buttons without paying a huge fee. By the time you've paid all these fees, you've paid thousands of dollars in order to remove all of these pesky ads. Why go through all the hassle? Why spend all of those hours doing it yourself? Go ahead and log on to apolloaesthetics.com, not only to request a quote to build your brand new website and to see a rendering of what your website could look like, but in order to set up services like email, hosting, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts, and a whole lot more. That is Apollo Aesthetics and apolloaesthetics.com.
Army Specialist Andrew Pike became paralyzed while serving in Iraq.
My injury was a gunshot wound to the left abdomen from a sniper. My first contact with paralyzed veterans was in Walter Reed.
Paralyzed veterans National Service Officer Michael Killen.
We try to reassure them what benefits are out there, try to educate them and take some of that stress away from them.
Right now I'm going back to school to earn a degree, and I'm just spending time with my wife and child.
You can help our paralyzed veterans. Visit pva.org.
That last apartment looked more like a tool shed.
That's because it was a tool shed, dear. I thought I'd show you the less than desirable apartments first because your credit is less than acceptable. But no worries, plenty of apartments. Let's try this one.
It's a broom closet.
Don't be silly, dear. It was a broom closet. Now it's apartment 3AA.
Potential landlords can and will check your credit before giving you a lease. Don't let your credit put you in a bad place. Go to controlyourcredit.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Treasury and the Ad Council.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Stash Feed. Get the feed. Log on to stashfeed.com, your daily manly feed. Your Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
If you haven't logged on to Stash Feed, you're truly missing out. You need to get the feed. You need to log on to stashfeed.com. One of the brand new features on there, third episode actually going to be tomorrow, posted on stashfeed.com, is the all-new Nerdgasm podcast. I host it along with my very good friend Ben Magnet on there. And this week we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of interesting stuff coming out of the Marvel Universe. Comics, movies, anything nerd-related or dorky or fun or random or stupid we cover on that show. A lot of cool stuff, actually, on that show. I encourage you to watch it, download it. It's now available on iTunes. Just go on to itunes.com, keyword search Nerdgasm, all one word, and it'll come right up, or stashfeed.com as well, where you can log on to stashfeed.com, get the feed, log on to stashfeed.com. Now, something I did want to mention here, if you're an IndyCar fan who lives in Southern California, or you're planning on coming out here for the finale on August 30th, August 31st at LA Live, fans are invited to mingle with the stars of the Verizon IndyCar Series during the IndyCar Championship celebration. It's going to be happening Sunday, August 31st at Club Nokia in downtown Los Angeles. It's going to be a few hours after the championship has been concluded, about 24 hours. That is pretty damn impressive, if I say so myself. Usually guys like other organizations like NASCAR and AMA, I know that the NHRA waits about a week or so. These guys are waiting a day. IndyCar's saying, no, we'll do it the next day. That's pretty cool. So if you're in the area, you can actually buy a ticket to it. There's a limited number of tickets available for purchase for the public. You can call the Indianapolis Motor Speedway ticket office at 1-800-822-4639. Live entertainment, beverages, catering by Wolfgang Puck are included in the $100 price per ticket. Doors open at 5 p.m. and the show starts at 7 p.m. local time. IndyCar Nation members can actually purchase their tickets through the IndyCar Nation offers an experience page. Club Nokia features a theater-styling seating as part of the LA Live complex, which also includes the Nokia Theater, the Staples Center, and the heart of the entertainment capital of the world. They're going to be hosting the championship finale on Saturday night out at the Auto Club Speedway. Sunday night, you can head down to Los Angeles, literally downtown LA Live, and you can check out the season finale dinner. That is pretty darn cool right there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It truly is. I encourage you, if you're an IndyCar fan, just cruise on down there. You can buy a ticket and you can check it out. It's going to be really cool. Those tickets will go fast, though. Mark my words. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it, actually. IndyCar knows how to put on a party, okay? They know how to treat people, and I love it. I'll be pampered. I will. I want to get to some tweets here. Alan, what was that death-defying boom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. Hashtag Dale Jr. win. Well, there kind of, sort of, a little bit was. If you didn't hear, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won a race over this last weekend, his third race win of the 2014 season. And oh, by the way, Junior Nation responded, and you could hear it in living rooms across the nation.
Here they come, off turn 2, separated by one car length in the battle for the lead. Come on, Junior. Come on, now, Junior. Let's go, man. Let's go. Come on. Block. Block, Junior. Block. White flag in the air. Final lap here at Poconos. One go, baby. Junior makes one false move. Harvick's going to go for the win. Junior completes the sweep. He wins today at Pocono Raceway. We own Poconos this year. We own
Well, no argument there. That's Junior Nation, some of Junior Nation, absolutely going bananas and bonkers. It was awesome. I absolutely love to see, I absolutely love to hear race fans go absolutely nuts. This one is one of my favorites, though. I think that that's very, very premature. It's a discussion I had on the Pit Pass on Monday. You can log on to arnrace.com in order to download that one and listen to it. You can also get it on iTunes. Just keyword search the Pit Pass or keyword search ARN. It'll come right up. But no, it's a discussion I had on Monday's show, rather. Just because Dale Earnhardt Jr. won 3 races, that doesn't mean he's automatically guaranteed to win this championship. It's going to come down to that final race in Homestead. Literally. The points get reset going into Homestead, so like it or not, it's going to come down to that. And believe it or not, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in a perfect world can go into each round of the chase and advance and advance and advance and advance. But presumably the only guarantee you have of it actually advancing is winning the race. If you have one bad race, literally one bad race at any point during those 10 races, your entire 2014 season is done. I'm talking about a blown tire, a bad pit call, not getting enough fuel, running out of fuel, having a bad engine, having brake problems, having transmission problems, having a shock problem, having an on-track incident, having a fine, having a penalty, having anything happen to you over the course of those 10 weeks, you're done. Your whole 2014 season is for nothing. I'm honestly not prepared to say Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to do that because A, my DeLorean is out of gas, and B, I have no clue if anything's going to happen to them. I can't call it and say, oh yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Steve Letarte, those 88 guys, they're not going to make a mistake. He's not going to be caught speeding on pit road. He's not going to run out of gas. He's not going to have a flat tire. He's not going to blow an engine. He's not going to blow a transmission. He's not going to have a radiator go out. He's not going to have a suspension part go out. He's not going to have a bad race car. He's not going to get involved in the big one at Talladega. You forgot about that one, didn't you? Oops. There's just too many variables and too many things that, frankly, can go wrong. There's lots of stuff that can go right. A whole lot of stuff that can go wrong, though, for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in order to win this championship. Something to keep in mind. But, yeah, there's a very, very, very good chance that he has a shot at this championship. Is it realistic? Very much at this point. But you can't automatically go into Junior's gonna win the championship mode just because he won Pocono. Pocono is the same race it was a few weeks ago, literally. And sorry, but we're gonna win the championship is a false statement. Period. I don't care what anybody tells me. I want him to win it. Frankly, I want Dale Earnhardt Jr. to win it, not just because of the race fans and their desire to see their driver do good for the first time in a decade, but also because Steve Letarte. He's a guy who's leaving for the NBC broadcast booth at the end of this season. Next season, he's going to be in the NBC broadcast booth. Dale Jr. is going to be getting a new crew chief. Steve Letarte, at age 35, is retiring from NASCAR racing. Dude, what is your secret? Let me know, Stevie. I want to retire at 35. That seems pretty awesome to me. But Steve is retiring from NASCAR racing, stepping into the broadcast booth for the NBC broadcasts, and his time with Junior will be done. What will happen after that? That's the big question mark that no one can answer at this point, and we'll just see what happens. But truly, I'm not ready to call him into victory lane yet. We'll see. Coming up this weekend on the racing calendar, kind of a thin calendar for this weekend, but nevertheless, some good racing coming at you. It's the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Zippo 200 at Watkins Glen International on Saturday afternoon. On Sunday morning, it is the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race, and with just a handful of races until the chase starts, this is where it starts to count. Keep an eye on Marcus Ambrose this weekend. I'm just saying. He's racing the Nationwide, and he's racing the Cup race this weekend. He's a guy I'm keeping my eye on. Another one, A.J. Allmendinger. He's driving that number 47 car. He's going to be lethal this weekend. He's somebody who you honestly should have on your radar, and if you don't, well, shame on you then. But he's somebody who's on my radar. I'm keeping an eye on him because truly I think he's going to do some really good things in that race. But ultimately, it's hard to count out guys like Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart. He needs to win a race in order to get in this chase. He could win this weekend very easily. Same with guys like Clint Boyer, Martin Truex Jr. Who knows? They had good runs there last year. That's going to do it for this edition of Shifting Gears. Thank you to Helio Castroneves and the Auto Club Speedway for helping us out with some interviews and their hospitality earlier today. For everybody here at ARN, I'm Alan Bailey. See ya at the track.
Check out arnrace.com to keep up with the latest news, photos, podcasts, and interviews from the track. You've been Shifting Gears on ARN, the American Racing Network.
Broadcasting from the ARN Racing Studios in Southern California, ARN Los Angeles. This is ARN, the American Racing Network.